All right. It is Monday, the 23rd of October, and welcome to our live stream. Took Friday off, had my got my certification for certified wall instructor for lead climbing, which is a cool thing for the gym. But did miss trading, so excited to be back here and doing some trading. Markets really fell on Friday for all of them. It was at some interesting points, especially on US the no, well, US 30's dropped as well. Which one? DAX has really fallen. Which one was I looking at? Well, NAS is closed. NAS is the one that closed it. So it's a bit of an interesting point, although we had a bit of a gap up on DAX and the Dow as well. So we'll look at those as the day goes on. But definitely in some interesting points. So first of all, let's take a look for the news. I don't think, yeah, no news today. So we're in luck. Nothing of that sort today. So should I see? Yeah, my goodness, I have very rarely seen anything day with that little news. Now tomorrow we're gonna have a lot of news. So probably especially for especially for DAX. So that's going to be interesting. We may want to be careful how we trade DAX tomorrow, especially at 1, 2, 2:30, 3, 3:30. Yeah. So a lot going on there. So just something to be aware of. Um, so just looking at our account, again, we're trying to pass this 10K challenge right now. And we are currently up 4.6%. So last week, we went down 0.1% overall for the week. So if I hadn't taken my last trade of the day of Thursday, we could have been up. We could have been up at 5%, 5.1. But shoulda, woulda, coulda. So we're just going to see how that goes for the rest of today, and hopefully, we seem frozen here. I don't know what's going on. There we go. Seems like we are dropping. Seems like something's going on with the website. Slow. Anyway, doesn't really matter. So let's go on to our Edge Finder. We're just going to take a look at the indices real quick here. See what's going on with them. Again, this is a tool essentially that just aggregates a bunch of fundamental data when looking at retail traders versus institutions versus interest rates, GDP growth, inflation, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't really care about this. Let's go look at US 30 right now first. It's a -2, so we were really bearish, and we've been getting progressively less bearish, and which is interesting. Price has been falling, right? So we could be starting to look for this to start going bullish as we see yeah, some institutional change here is starting to go a bit long in the market sentiment. Again, we're still very short on US 30, but still, we are changing, and you know we could see this continue to now start going bullish, perhaps. How about DAX? Yeah, DAX, same thing. But again, we're not much, but we haven't seen much of a change. So not much here, but would be interesting to possibly see this go bullish here over the next few days. Um, but remains to be seen. So let's get to the charts. As always, let's start with DAX. Let's start on daily. I'll erase all of these lines. And we'll just start by putting in, remember, we always start with our daily high and low, which we make purple. So we're just going to put that there. Gonna put that there. And then let's see where we think price could go, both high and low. So first place, of course, is just the low of last week, which is right there. You can adjust that later. And if it continues to fall, this is definitely a nice target right there because it's kind of the bottom of these two low days, almost gets that wick in. And then if continue fall, maybe that wick, and then finally, we have maybe the top over here, and this is a very long wick. And then there's really no good spot to put one here, but we could just say this is a big area, so we could just maybe let's say half of that just for a target. Um, and if we go along, where could we go? So we have this gap over here. We have this gap up here. This is definitely one. And then we have that one there. And then of course the high. And then we don't really have a good target. And so I would just say, in the we could just say somewhere maybe in the middle, right? Because it's a big candle, and we'll look at it on the 1 hour. Maybe we get a little bit more clarity. But that's a start. So now let's drop down to the 1 hour, see what else we can find. So here now we start getting a little bit more clarity of areas. So definitely right there, somewhere like right there. And yeah, I like that. That looks good to me. So let's put in some hourly. If this comes up, where do we think it could go? Again, we have kind of these wicks here coming across, something like that. And then if it was to drop, something like that. So let's drop down to the 5 minute. All right, so on the 5, we did break all of this. Had a nice retest already, but not quite enough. I'd like to see if we could come down a little bit more. We did reject it hard, but we kind of left it. It kind of went up, came back down as well, and then just stopped here. But if we could come down a little bit, maybe we can pivot, start going up, break through this 200 high of day, and then keep going. So a bit of an interesting place. Let me just take a look at that. Got to restart my MT5 here. Okay, looks like we've got it. Yeah, looks like we're all running again. Okay, so just looking at what we've got here, especially in German 30, um, spread's only 2 right now, which usually it's a bit higher. Maybe it's Monday, but volume's real low. Um, just a lot of chopping around. So we're definitely not going to be trading that yet. Gonna wait, see what happens, especially at market open. We might not even try to take a trade until market open today. Just not much volume going on. So if it breaks through here, I would be looking for it to need to break somewhere here, and then we could consider that being then going long, right? Definitely a bit of a counter trend trade, as you see, but we've kind of just broken this downtrend here. So it'll be interesting to see. And we can, whatever we want to draw. We can draw it from up here. If I want to take the more short-term one, get all of these in there, something like that. Kind of like that, right? So let's see what we get in store here. Again, this is breaking down nicely. As I said, I would love to see it come down here, and then perhaps we could pick up a pivot as it goes up higher. But we do have to be aware of this resistance line up here and the 200. So we've got the 200 up there. We've got the resistance line up there. We do have this uh, kind of downtrend that we have broken, so the trend line. So let's wait and see what happens. But overall, charting done for that. Let's move over to US 30. All the lines that we drawn are just not even close now. Market really dropped. But let's just drag our lines for now. We'll kind of pretend that let's do this like I would. So we'll just put our daily lines where they should be. Let's find some places to put horizontal. So the first one is the low of last week. Next one would be like these two lows. And these wicks are all the same, which also correspond to these close, this close over here. And then finally those two over there. So there we go. Not hard. Again, this is a pretty big gap. So maybe we want to just stick one in the middle as a middle target, and we can adjust that. Um, unsure what's going on with my unsure what's going on there with my MT5. Looks like it's trying to find there we go. Looks like we are trying to find something. There we go. Okay. And then let's go down to the hour. Again, this is on US 30. Um, I, I kind of like where that is. Maybe just right there. Because then this is real choppy up there. So if we break through here, which we'll draw this probably on the 5, but there's going to be something there. And then there's absolutely going to be something, here. If we break through that, then we'd be talking about somewhere, up here or something. So let's take a look at that on the 5. I don't see that there's much to do on the 1 hour here. So yeah, so we'll draw that there. That's about perfect. This one's about perfect. Not be surprised if we came down and filled this gap here today before perhaps reversing and going bullish, but I don't know yet. Let's wait and see. Um, this is real choppy price action, real pricey price action. So Friday, I mean, it was just choppy, a lot of wicks and a lot of just all over the place. So let's see if we can get a little bit of better action today. Overall, all set up here. This looks good. And then let's go over to the NAS. This one we can go back and do from scratch as well. So we're going to do our daily and low and daily high and low. And when I say daily, daily for me, not much been day. The market hasn't been open for that long. So let's open it. Let's get that started. And then where else could price go? Maybe here because we've got lots of wicks, top wick, just lots of wicks. So we're gonna aim that. It's a nice spot, and then maybe up here because that this gap here as well as this close open, kind of open, in this middle of this gap. So again, just a decent spot. Open of that day, ran top of Friday, low of Friday, low of all of those, and then finally low of those. And if we need one more, we're talking like down here because it gets these wicks and that includes these two. And finally, if you really wanted one, you can put one here as well. Okay, that's all we need there. Hourly. I do like how this looks a little bit better than maybe Dow. It's a nice, very nice consolidation zone up here. Put this on the 5, but it's going to be something like that. And yeah, let's just go directly to the 5 because honestly, again, this looks almost just like the Dow, but I do like the price action. It just if you look at this the price action here is a lot nicer than when we compare it to the Dow, and it's just absolute mess. So let's continue to monitor that as we go. So as always, I'm gonna now split screen this. 15-minute on the right, 5-minute on the left. And then I've got my 1 on the an MT5. Again, I don't recommend you doing that if you haven't been trading for a while. Yeah, spread's now 4 on DAX. Um, I don't recommend you doing this unless you've been trading for a while because you need to learn price action with one time frame. But as you learn the time frames, you can use other time frames as maybe a bit of a confluence. I just like having it up there. It makes me happy, so that's why I do it. Doesn't have to make sense. And honestly, for if you're a beginner, don't do it. I'm just telling you right now. Save yourself some headache. Don't do it. But if you like this is how I trade. So this is what I'm showing you. Okay. So we got our charts pulled up. Yeah, let's just wait and see. Kind of in the middle of this range here, just back up and down, up, and we're gonna break down. I'd love to see it break down today. Like honestly, for me, I would love to catch a short. That would be my leaning right now. Down, fill this gap, maybe bounce off the low of Friday, and then perhaps we get tweezer bottoms, and then we start to pivot on out of here. Ideally, that's what I would like to see. What I'm predicting, but could be wrong. We could just go up. We also I've always said on our other excuse me live streams that people say, "Oh, the gaps are going to be filled." Well, sure, obviously, the price is eventually going to go both ways in both directions. Eventually, it'll come down and fill it, but it's going to do it today, or is it going to do it, 5 years from now? We don't know. So DAX is in a little bit of a different spot. And the reason I say that is uh, just because of how this is. If it came down and we got a retest, I would be potentially feel that there's enough range here where we could short it just down to the low of day, and potentially come to fill this gap here, which we have not yet. But it just looks a bit better than if we were trying to do that. Like I'm not willing to do anything with Dow here just because this is pretty decent resistance right here. Or support, I guess. Here's support and support. So I needed to break down first. Um, but let's see. It kind of looks like it's trying now. Nas really going for it. Could we potentially add a little extra line? A line like up here and try to get a drop down? Like, yeah, especially with this big candle. Let's see how it closes. But if I was going to try to really squeeze something out of it, like I would want to see a break below here, retest, and then maybe we try to short it, tight stop loss, probably trailing our stop loss or moving into break even pretty quickly to try to catch it because it could just bounce. But I think we are going to go fill this wick later today. But as I said, we don't want to do anything premature because check it out, came down, now rejecting our support here, and now kind of rotating back up right around here. So let's see what happens today. Again, we've got some nice targets here, so I think we can get some decent moves. But I mean, do be aware it's Monday, right? So historically, everyone will tell you that Mondays are can be a tend to be a bit of a difficult day to trade. It's easier on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. My data does not show that. Um, in fact, while we're waiting, because nothing's happening right now, let's go look at not FX Fables. I don't even know what that is. FX books. Let's go look at what my daily things. So Mondays. Yeah, I mean 61% winning on Mondays. Huh? Yeah, Mondays are by far my best day. Minus Friday, but I've only traded like one or two Friday or two Fridays, so like yeah, so it's not don't have a huge sample size right now. But yeah, Mondays have been my best day, so I personally think that's a bit of a misnomer. German 30 continues breaking down more. But as I said, it would take breaking down, retesting, and then breaking down more for me to get on because right now all this really looks like is maybe a deep pullback, and then getting ready for a continuation. Again, I don't use FIBs, but I'm just using it so you can visualize again, visualize the 50% area, right? Which happens to be where my line is. You would expect price to retrace 50%. So I'm not in any real rush to get in on this. And again, people use fibs to show you 50%. You just it's 50%, right? Half. Just take everything, divide it in half, 50%. Doesn't need a fib line for that. And price action sucks. I mean, if you look at it on the one, which you can see on my MT5 here, but I can also show you on the one, like just look at all this, it's garbage price action. Like, yes, it's going down, but you have all this upward momentum as well. And there we've got a big upward break we're seeing right now. So let's see first minute candle of the new 5 minute candle here. Just turned 120. So let's see, get a strong break upward. Let's move back to the 5 minute. Yeah. And this is where, like, if my spread wasn't 4 on the DAX right now, this is where I'd actually be liking get in because I think now we've got enough momentum we could start pushing. Yeah. And if we wanted to trade Dow a bit tighter, I mean, we could trade it somewhere like right here. I think honestly, if it closed above that, we could potentially get a retest and then just be aiming for like hive day, right? Like that would be it'd be a bit aggressive. And we're going into this, but this doesn't hold that much weight for me, whereas it's kind of went up, came down, went up even higher, came down. If it comes up and then like I would be potentially interested. Spread on DAX is still 4 for me. So again, not touching it, but I really liked how that looked. Like once we up here, if my spreads had been less, I would have been getting in because I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it come and break this 200 here. So let's wait and see what we get in the next few minutes. But definitely moving strong. Same with Nas. They're all bullish right now. All right, so All right, so let's I don't know where my MT5 went. Did I close it? Are we open? I don't know. Looks like we're good. Okay. So what do we have going on here? Oh, big break on DAX. Now, if DAX can pull back a little bit, get a little bit better of a spread, then we could consider. Do we go? And we do have this right up here, so this we need to be, we need to be cautious of that. There's just enough going on and enough momentum that potentially we could get in on that. There's nothing, we can't do anything here right now. Uh, Door, can we do anything here yet? I like the look of DAX, but just with the spread and the fact that we have this big candle, I would expect a pullback, and I don't really want to enter without that pullback. But if we got a pullback down to the 9 or something, and then saw a bit of a push, that would be nice. But again, the volume is so little right now. I'd love to see pullback here, and then perhaps get onto it, get in on it. But right now, it's just not enough going on. Very little volume. Um, and maybe it's hard to tell on this big candle, but if you look at it on the ones here on MT5, they're just like dojis and they're just like sticks and there's not much bodies going on and price just isn't doing much, right? Like it kind of looks like it is here, but again, all these wicks, it's just waffling around and now it's just sitting up here for the last 2.5 minutes. Hasn't made a new higher high yet. Uh, just sitting around, so it's trying here. We do a bit of a pop. We'll probably see a bit of a pop here. But again, we're getting close enough. There we go, new higher high. We're getting close enough that we'll probably just sit out till market open and see what happens. Uh, this did look good. As I said, if my spread hadn't been high, I would have been gotten in on here, rode it up to here, moved my stop loss to break even, at least just written out, see if we could have gotten it for some more pips, because it could definitely go higher. As I said, it wouldn't surprise me if we go bullish on these. Um, but there's just so much downward pressure right now that it's saying we're going to go bullish. It's hard to predict the bottom, so we're going to have to wait and see what the market gives us. Excuse me. Again, price kind of just hanging out up here. If we had entered on this big candle, like right here, like maybe it's gone up a pip, but it's just a very little movement right here. Like there's just not much volume. So we're just gonna wait, see what we can get after the market open here, unless something really shows us something nice. But yeah, I'm not seeing it. So at this point, unless we see something in the next 5 minutes that just forces us to get in, we're going to be sitting out until market open. Whereas I'll probably just do some work while we're waiting. And get DAX may go higher here, but like just check this out. Big candles and then just not much. And then just like this is just very little volume and very little price action. And like when you see this, yeah, this is just really bad volume that's leading to this. There's just no volume. It's not going anywhere. Sure, it's working its way there, but there's no momentum. Uh, so we're not traded that garbage. It may go up. But could also just reverse right here and then drop like a rock. Come down here as well, which wouldn't surprise me either. Uh, could go up to here and drop like a rock. Like, sure, we have these EMAs getting ready to cross. I'll believe it when we see it. My spreads just dropped, so I'm down to finally like 0.6 for DAX. So like that's nice. So if we could get a pull back down to here in the next, oof, 5 to 10 minutes, could you convince me possibly to get in? Possibly. But at this point, uh, we're just too far up. Ugh, where's my? There we go. Where's my RSI? And you can see we're overbought here. Uh, and we've got a bearish divergence because we had higher up here, new higher high here, but lower high here. It's a bit of a loss of momentum. So again, like getting in here, it's already high plus bearish divergence. Like it's just definitely not getting in on that. If we can come down, pick up some, perhaps let's see. But let's see how strong it also comes down. Because if it comes crashing down, we don't want to try to catch a knife, catch a reversal on that knife edge as well. Oh, especially since this is kind of right inside this line, which we made for a reason. But if we could come down here, I would like to see it. I would like to see it. Mm. Let's look like here. Yeah, nothing here. It just kind of went up there and bounced a little bit of rejection. Nas did absolutely nothing. Just sat there, tried to go up, coming back down. So again, yeah, we'll see what happens. But we could be very. I really still think we're going to go bearish at least for the first half of the day, at least for London, and then maybe we'll reverse during New York. But I think we see this coming down here today. Which, if so, I would love part of that move. So we're back down testing the 200 again. Like, okay, so it's retesting. If it reverses, do you want to get in? Well, not really, because check it out. Like, all of these wicks over here, all this, like, this is right. We had this line here. Went right up to it, rejected it. So, sure, it's going up. Has some strong, it has a strong candle here, but it's not a high volume candle. I'm so sorry. I have no idea why I'm so tired today. Uh, yeah, for me, I'd really like to see farther down and then, coming down and around. Like as now, okay, we got a little dip bounce. Now it's gonna, if it turns green, sure, it's tempting to get in, but it just didn't pull back enough after this big candle to like this. It still needs to come back a bit, and we have our bearish divergence, which, you know, I'm sure you already know all this, but if you don't, this is just essentially showing us momentum. So if we have a line here, and then we have a line here, right? So we have a higher high on the 5 minute, but we have a lower high on our RSI. So losing moment, it's losing momentum. So again, does it mean something? A lot of times, no. But it could be an indicator that price will start maybe going down. Now, I can find you just as many instances where it doesn't do that, right? Uh, um, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I could find you some more instances of it. And if you look at the 15 minutes, that's not the case. So take it with a grain of salt. Again, that's why you don't usually use multiple time frames when you're trading, at least when you're beginning, because you can get confused. If this is bearish divergence, but this isn't bearish divergent, which one do I listen to? Good question. I do like this nice retest there, and then turning green would have been a nice buy, perhaps, but for me, just not enough momentum going. So we're just gonna sit and watch. Again, we might be bummed out, but again, if you don't, you can never lose money by not getting in on a trade, right? So we'll sit and wait, see what happens. And yeah, this looks like a huge candle, but it's like 15 pips. Even this whole move is like 20 pips, 23, but like it's just not a big move. So we'll just wait and see what the market does. In the meantime, let's wait and see what happens. Again, I really want to get in, right? Because I was like, oh, we could take out high a day, but we're right here with all these levels. We need it to come up, retest, show us momentum, and then go back up. We're not just gonna hop it. That's not how we do it. This we did make a new higher high, which is nice. But again, all these wicks over to the left, all of these wicks over to the left. Like there's just so much. But if we can break, if we can go up, come back down, retest, and then go up, like maybe we get in, right? But right now we're just sitting watching the game. Yeah. Nas rejecting. US 30 rejecting. DAX still trying to hold something there, but we'll see. But yeah. So let's see what we get here. This is again why we don't get too excited when something's going up. You got to be patient, wait for it to go where you think it will before you hop in. So I'm just gonna play a quick game of chess here while I'm waiting. It's better than that than watching the charts and trying to take trades I shouldn't. New candle still breaking down. Nice. Just won my rapid game. Or was it Blitz? 3 minutes. I think it's a Blitz. Anyway, get to the last 15 minutes. Let's see what price is doing here. Okay, retraced a little bit on DAX, kind of a bit of a little retest. We gotta see a breakdown. We're just in the middle here. We can't do much. We can't turn the screen though, because we did break through it. So let's see, can we break through it? Otherwise, I mean, I would love to keep going bullish on this if I could. Bearish, I mean, have breakdown, boop, and keep going and just drive down the low a day or maybe down to the low of Friday. But let's see. Holding, but not doing much. Again, not going down, not going up, just playing. So we're just gonna continue to watch this. Gotta play one more chess game. And so we're just sitting here. You can fast forward if you're watching this in replay and fast forward 15 minutes, that which will take us to market open, and then maybe we see some fun stuff happen. But until then, I don't think I'm going to touch anything um, unless something really, really forces my hand, and I'm just not seeing it. Yeah. Okay. Oh man, what do we got going on? Nothing. German 30 came down for a little bit of retest, but we're tuning it honestly. If this had been perhaps aftermarket open or something, we'd be like, oh, maybe we can get in. We came down, we got a little momentum now going up, um, but not enough. Not enough. Got about 8 minutes to market open, so we're just going to continue monitoring. Again, garbage price action right now. Hopefully, market open gives us some better price action. Uh, just let's move that up a little bit. It's bounced hard here a couple times. So again, if it breaks this, like we could potentially consider getting in. Uh, Maybe a little premature, but again, I think we're gonna go bearish anyway. So if it comes up, it's come up again. Now we break down, retest. We could look for a big push down. So that's kind of what I'm looking for now. We're definitely still, we've still got a trend line now a little bit going up here with this. So something like this over the last few couple hours. We could see this coming down, uh, push down on deck, push down to here during the open, and then shoot very bullish. Or other way, we could see it come up to here, pick up all the stops that are over here, and then push bearish. So we've got a couple options, and I don't really know which way it's going to go yet. Um, Again, just prepping price action right now. Dow's trying to break down, hasn't been able to yet, but definitely not doing anything. And again, yeah, the Nas just really bad price action as well. I mean, look at the 15, it just wicks all over the place. So I'm sure we're going to see something at the open here. I mean, we can start seeing it start to push up or come down. Um, but let's wait and see. All right. So 5 minutes till market open. Price has done squat. DAX has done squat. Got that little push right off here, but it wouldn't have gone far enough for us to really do anything. Now it's pushing back down with some momentum. Are we going to push back down, break back down into this green box, retest, and then go short? Oh no, big goes to my buddy. If you look at our, if we look at our summary here, you know, we've made most of our money this month on shorts. Um, Going long has not done us much good on anything except US 30. I guess we've made 30 bucks, but for the most part, we've all made it short. And again, I'm looking at NAS, not really making money on NAS, so I'm still gathering data on NAS because I haven't usually traded it, but I wanted to see. Um, but the fact is, I may remove NAS from my two pairs. Okay, so we got German, the US 30, we got DAX coming down, retesting the green line. Like again, if this was on, if this was not right before market open, I'd be considering getting it because that's a nice look bounce. If we can see a rejection here past this red line, if it passed here, then I would be considering getting in if it wasn't before right before market open. It is. So we're just gonna be patient. Oh, that was the other thing. Hourly. When are my trades? So it says 9, which 9 o'clock is 1 o'clock for me. Um, no, it says 45% of winning trades, so definitely most profitable at between 2 and 3. So it's interesting. It's still, I don't have a huge data set right now. So 81 trades. I'm going to continue gathering data on this account to really trying to work down what I need to do to become more profitable. Um, I mean, 45 is fine because my risk to reward is, what is it? I think it's like 1.6 or something. Trades. Ah, there it is. 1.4 for profit factor. So 1.4. So with 40 and 45%, I can still make money on that too. But if I'm doing significantly better at 2 o'clock, then maybe I just don't start trading. I don't start trading till 2 o'clock. It's 57 over 45. That's a pretty big difference, 12%. So I'm going to keep monitoring this for this month and probably next month as well, just to get a bit more data because I'm really trying to pull data into my trading now. I know I have an edge with how I trade because obviously profitable for the past few weeks, but probably so. I'm just trying to figure out what I need to do to maximize my profits. Uh, and then yeah, 42% after at between 3 and 4. That's pretty bad, right? 45, 42 still making money barely. And I just don't trade. I shouldn't be. These are outside my hours. Like I already identified that these are losing hours. Um, from previous data collection. I'm now just trying to optimize my trading in the times that I actually am trading because I know these are my most profitable pairs, most profitable times. Like I've done this over months of analysis, and now I just have to kind of fine tune it to my best 1 or 2 hours, 3 hours maybe, my best looks, my best pairs, to kind of figure that out. So yeah, Nas so far not being profitable for me, but I don't have enough data for the right now during these times with everything I'm doing right now exactly to really make the decision to remove it yet. So we'll still wait and see. Anyway, market about to open, 19 seconds. Let's see what we get. I'm gonna open up my trading trades. I use a I use a calculator to calculate. Now look at that big drop. And this is why we don't get in long. Or why we didn't get in long, but right before market open. So let's wait and see what we get here. Is it just gonna pick up some wicks and now blast through here? If it does, I want to be part of that probably. But yeah, we gotta be patient because it could also just. So let's wait and see. Again, just the first minute of this candle. We're not in a rush to trade here. We're not in a rush to trade. We're not trading market open. We're gonna wait and see what the price tells us. DAX broke down initially, but kind of just indecision right now. Which way it's gonna go, we don't really know yet. It's a green, flip back red. We're gonna see it push down. I would like to see it come up here first and then drive down. If so, I might be tempted to get in on it, but right now, just indecision, not going anywhere. Again, Nas came down, rejected this lane, going back up now. DAX rejecting. So could we see it pivot? Or just is it going to come up here somewhere and then reject back down? So let's just continue waiting. Dow, new low here. So I like the looks of this. Can we? Let's see what happens over the next 5 minutes though or so. So going to close below this, get a retest up, and then break down. Goes fill this candle. Let's see. Indecision still on DAX. No lower low since the first minute. Still in that same range. Okay, now we have a new lower low. All right, now it's breaking down. Dow breaking down. NAS breaking down. So everything currently breaking down. Let's see what happens though over the uh, next 2 minutes. Again, only 3 minutes into this market open, and are we gonna see? There we go. See, sucked it down. Now they're sucking it back up. Are we gonna reject this green line, come back up, or are we gonna close below it? Kind of in between these trend lines. Don't really, again, we're not trading this area for a reason. It's not only is it between trend lines, but it's kind of just in this consolidation. So we're just waiting for this to we're just waiting for price to show us what it's probably gonna do. We also don't want to go short when it's up here because it's still an uptrend, right? Short term, albeit, but still short trend, but still an uptrend. So let's just wait. If we can close below this in the next minute, 90 seconds, come up and retest, and then perhaps drive down. But I'm liking the look of Dow much better because look at all this empty space here we have to fill. So we're going to be keeping an eye on Dow and DAX. Again, though, it's dropped Oh, where my RSI is. I shot up here. Uh, we're real low on the RSI, right? Which is again why we're not buying yet. We gotta wait for this first candle, see what happens. Again, let's see if DAX closes below this green line or above it. Let's change this now to resistance. Um, DAX, 30 seconds. Looking like it potentially could close above. US 30 looking like it could close above. Yep, 3 seconds left. Check that wick out. Now, we're not just going to automatically buy, but this is a nice wick that picked up a bunch of stops that were probably under here, right? And now, will we have enough momentum to push out of here? But again, we've got to actually see some momentum. We've got our 9 up here. We've got the 200. So we're not going to just buy that. And again, there you go. Look at that breaking down. Still no trade here. Just indecision. It's kind of going around both ways. All right, I'm in on DAX. Right there. Stop down here. Probably got it that a little early. Should have been a bit more patient. It's below my red line. Kind of breaking my own rule probably with that. Just like the momentum that we saw here, that momentum shift, but it's going right into the 200 and the 9, like I said we should be doing, right? So, yeah, let's see if I regret that. So my break even's more like there. All right, I'm closing that trade. It was stupid. So I just closed that for like a little $10 loss. I need to be patient. That was unwise of me to take that trade because, again, I'm below this line. I'm below the 200, like I said. So exiting out of there without a huge loss is happy for me. Again, we broke down now on Dow. So honestly, if anything, we should be going short on this. Like we really should. I'm gonna go right up here. Let's be patient. Let's be patient. It's only the first 5 minutes. I don't want to go have a big loss today to start off the day. If we have to lose, we have to lose. But let's be patient and see where price goes with us here. There's no rush. Again, indecision. Wicks, wicks, no bodies. Let's be patient. Let's let price show us wicks here. Let's let price show us what it's doing first. It's only the first 5 to 10 minutes of our candle here, so we're going to be entering at only 34 seconds of this candle. Again, doing nothing. Um, it was again stupid that I got in the first place. I'm glad I'm out for just $11. Like it's not a big deal, right? But trying to predict that, especially going into this line, stupid. So let's get out. Let's wait patiently for a setup. If this breaks down, retest, then we could potentially be considering getting in. Let's see, next 4 seconds. If we can get Dow come up and retest, get a little bit of a retest, opening green. Oof. Okay. So we're in Dow short. So let's go here. And we're going to anticipate. Honestly, it will not surprise me if it comes back up here. Should I have waited? Perhaps. Perhaps. But let's see what we get here. Glad we got out of this one. That was a stupid trade, as I said. The reason I got out of it is we were trying to go long right into that, which we should have not have. So now we're going to go short and see if we can pick up some pips here. Again, we're going to anticipate that price comes back up to here. So yeah, price came up. Should we have waited? Perhaps, but we got in. It was good. I'm fine with this. But we're going to expect price got to come down. It's now got to come back up. Where if at least come to this green line very potentially, maybe a bit higher. So I have my stop. I see, yeah, my stop is essentially right here. Could have put a little higher perhaps, but it's like right there. It's above the 9. We're going to see if we can drive down to the low of day. It's a bit of a wide stop, as I said. Maybe entered a little too late. Because we had a nice drive down initially. Honestly, this doesn't bother me at all. Kind of what I expected because it entered here, which is nice. Went in profit, but it's going to have to come back up if we want it to drive down further. So I want us to target this. This is what I want to see. Again, Dow's, NAS is dropping down as well, but I like how Dow looks just because we have all this room. So we're just going to continue to wait and monitor this one. This is the trade that we're currently in. We were in a stupid trade in DAX, so you got to see me do that live time. Essentially, take a stupid trade, identify it as a stupid trade, and then get out. And fortunately, get out without a huge loss. Not a big deal if we lost $11. So that's only 0.1% of our account. So not a big deal at all. Again, with this, I'm anticipating price comes up to here. So price comes up to here. Um, so we could hopefully maybe pick up a little bit more and then pick up another position and then continue to drive down. So far, so good though. Looking good. Especially we've rejected this level a couple times, so now perhaps we can gain enough momentum to keep driving down here with our next. We're gonna have a new 15-minute candle again. Since we're entering on 15, I would anticipate price to come up. Maybe half of this 15-minute candle, so right up to this green line perhaps. But right now, it's still driving down. So let's see if we can continue going bearish on this move. Um, Low of day is here. If we get the low of day, it could look to close some, take some profit off here at close of day maybe, which is almost, yeah, 1 hour. Um, Let me look at this on the one. Where exactly did I enter? Kind of like right there. And then my stop is kind of right there. So let's continue to watch. Can we make a new lower low here? Retest on DAX. Now we're gonna continue to flow up over and continue to drive down. That is the question. trying to make a new lower low here. There we go. Lower low. DAX, nice rejection. This is where you could be considering getting in short on DAX if you wanted. I'm already in short US 30. I'm not going to go in on it. I only trade one indice at a time, so I'm never going to be in multiple trades at once. Been burned too much like that. So 30 seconds left. If it closes down here, maybe you can continue. Let's see what happens. Do we now have enough momentum to keep pushing down to the low of day? Well, we're currently about 11 pips in profit. So did make a new lower low, which is good. We needed that. And now let's see. We are definitely, our RSI is low. So let's see what happens here. Honestly, I may move my stop loss to break even. Honestly, probably will. If it comes up, knocks me out, I may wait for a new position where it comes up here first. Because I don't like the fact that we're so overbought and we're just driven a long ways. So if we hit break, I'm going to go at break even. I don't like the looks of this trade. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you don't like the looks of it, get out. Um, okay. Okay, so we're down. So we're knocked out of that trade. So let's wait now. Let's just wait and be patient. Price action really is crappy. I don't like how it's looking. And so, yeah, we could end up being wrong, but we need to see. All right, so we tried, it came up rejected. Come up again on DAX, rejected. Let's see. Okay, nice retest here. And so if we could come up a little bit farther, just cool things off on the RSI, and then get back in, but maybe a bit higher up because we entered late. Just my learning from what I've seen. So let's wait and see. Okay, so Nas tried to drive up, was not able to. Big candle down. I want to see some clear direction. Right now, we've got too many wicks to really tell what's going on. All right, so just went in dash short as soon as it turned red there. And the reason why is we've had multiple rejections now off of here. It came, broke through, retested, couldn't down, came up, retested again, broke down. So now let's see if we have enough momentum to break through this purple line here. Do not like those equal wicks, so let's hope it keeps breaking down. And let's see what else we have here. Yeah, Dow rejected again up here. Again, that might have been a nice spot to get in. We just entered low, so do I regret getting out of there? No, not really. We had entered in a little bit too late. Yes. Okay, this breaking down beautifully. Now let's see if we can. Now you can take some off here at the low of day, or we could aim down for here. I'm aiming for this yellow, but I may move to break even here, depending what we get. But nice move. Nice move. Okay, so I'm at break even. Again, could take some profit off here at the low of day because could it bounce? Absolutely, probably will. I'm hoping for, there we go. I'm hoping for that. I'm hoping for it to come fill this wick, oh, this line over here. So I'm still holding it. Stop loss at break even. You know, what's the worst thing happens? Nothing. We don't lose any money. So let's see what we get next 30 seconds. This candle's going to close. If we can get a close below low of day, that would be beautiful. Oh, if we don't, it'll probably suck back. It could suck back up. But again, we're at break even, so we don't really care. All right, new 5-minute candle. Which way are we going to go? Driving down. Very, we've got a lot of support across this area though, so it could very well just come back up, knock us out here. But after such a big move, I don't want to, if it could very easily, like we got in here, which was a nice move, and it moved down, but now it could just pick right back up and go bullish. So I don't want to be in it if it does. So I'm at break even. Nothing wrong with that. I'm currently floating about 5 pips. Break down here would be nice. Just trying. Definitely trying. 12 pips up now. There we go. Can we break this low of day here? This low of day, which the low of day is now here, right? Because it's moved. Can't get the right line. A lot of wicks right here on the one though. So need to see if we can get enough to break that. Get a little bit more downward pressure. Otherwise, we're going to come up and at least knock us out before keep going. But again, I just where we are, I don't really want to move my stop loss because this could move it up because now we could see a reversal, especially with the way it moved down so rapidly. We can see it come up. So just going to stay here. Let's see what price does. Not really doing much right now. Really want to see this break down to here. Which takes us somewhere to here. Yeah, be a nice trade. But again, we're counting our chickens because I think we're going to get knocked out of here before it drives down, if it does drive down. But we could see this pivot essentially going. Now this trade, yeah, that's kind of going how we were calling it, hoping it. So that's a bit disappointing. But I didn't like how it's looking at. We had definitely gotten in premature. Nas would have been nice to get in on that retest. That was a nice trade there. Beautiful trade. But we're in on DAX the way it is. So let's continue to watch. Can we close below this green line in the next minute? If we can, we've got some potential. but we need to really close. 9 is way up here, which is the downside. But if we can drive down, close below this green line, maybe come up half of the candle, retest, then maybe we drive down and we get a little bit of profit. Nice. 30 seconds left. Get half of that to kind of, if this candle closes below, could we come up, retest half of the candle, and then continue to drive. Let's see where we close in the next 25 seconds. Definitely driving. Can we make a new lower low? We can. Where are we going to close though is the question. We did make a new lower low, which is important. Stop loss is up here. Can we hold it? 2 seconds left. Are we going oh, big gap down. All right. Still driving. Driving. Can we just get a little bit more? And I'm out. Nice. Okay. Nice job, guys. Nice job. Good trade. Patient. We got it. Now, could we kept holding? Yeah, new lower low. I mean, who knows how far this is going to keep going now. Um, but I'm happy with that. Nice. Good trade. Now let's just wait and see. Not much for us to do right now. So, play a game of chess. Okay. So again, if we'd stayed in Dow, we would have been up as well. I just didn't like the fact that I had entered late. My rules, I hadn't gone the retest I needed, which would have that. We could have considered a retest before it dropped and then entered. So woulda, shoulda, coulda. This trade was just beautiful though. Could we have stayed in? Yes, but we don't know if it's going to break this or not. So exit, take your what we make on that 0.82%. And our account now is at the highest it's ever been. So we're currently up 5.3% on this account. We're gonna wait and see if we get any other action going on right here. But as for now, it's now too far for me to really, too far for me to really do anything until either it breaks back up here or comes down here and bounces and does something. So honestly, I don't see. Yeah, this was a beautiful trade. This one breakdown, retest into the green by the 9, this level, and then this. I would have loved to get in on that trade. That would have been a beautiful trade. and then taking it all the way down there. But we were in the middle of deck, so that's the only problem. Watching three, I really need another monitor so I can have all of them pulled up at one time. But overall, well pleased. So take pictures of these for our journal. DAX breaking down like crazy. Could have made even more. But again, woulda, shoulda, coulda. Could have also sucked back up, which we've seen it do a lot of times as well. Okay, so where are we? See, we've got price retracing a little bit, but it kind of just up to this. I mean, technically, we could keep trading this short. It's just like as it came up, like ugh, it's tempting. It's really tempting. look good. Oh man, that could have been a good trade. But again, everything is just so low on the RSI now that it just not worth it right now. This broke down beautifully. You should have just again, this is why I should have trusted my analysis, but also knew that I hadn't followed my rules, so is what it is. This one, oof, you could let that run for like big trade. But again, we're up to it for the day, so why complain? Anyway, we're up 0.7% for the day, so should we really be fussing? No, not really. If I wanted to, we could risk like 0.2% on a trade, right? So we keep what I usually do if I have my win trade is I'll either win 0.5%, or if I do something like this, I'll risk 0.2%, so I end up the day 0.5% up, if anything. So uh, but I feel like it's driving down too low, like it's just moving too fast. Could have gotten in. That would have been, we had a really nice trade lined up here, right there. We would have already been completely in cash. But again, it was also bouncing right off. Look at where it was bouncing. Right off this level, which guess what coincides with here. So should we be feeling bad about that? No, because it's a risky trade. So just talking to myself, take the money and run. And I don't know why DAX here looks different than the DAX on my chart here. But anyway, look, stuff's driving down. Really oversold. Which again doesn't mean I would buy it, but also means I might not want to sell it. So I'm just gonna, I think I'm gonna call it there for day. Honestly, not much. We made one trade. We made a couple stupid trades that we got out of, and then we ended the trade, so we ended up 0.7 for the day. I'm happy with that. Not happy with a couple of my stupid trades. Needed to wait patiently, which we finally did here, which was really nice. Um, so that was very nice. But yes, definitely some learnings I'm gonna have to journal. Just continue to break down. Dang. Yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. It's nice when you see stuff hit your analysis, right? And so we entered again. I probably would have, if I'd been watching, we could have entered this right here or something. Uh, this one just didn't look good because I figured price was gonna come up here and then maybe we could get back in or something. But anyways, is what it is. Um, not gonna fuss over it. Decent day. So till tomorrow.